Braxton is learned, or what's his name? He not Braxton. We give every producer a nickname. Who was he?
Channing.
I'm gonna call him a scholar.
Yeah, he's a scholar now.
He did just get academic honors at TSU, so we should clap
GPA.
it up.
I mean, but it's TSU though.
Oh,
damn.
Wait, hold on. You can't say that yet because we got to introduce you.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Damn it, man.
Yeah, that hurt.
We denouncing HBCUs up here?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Just TSU.
Damn,
you went to PV?
I'm sorry.
He went to PV.
Okay. I understand
and UTSA,
that.
but we're going to get into his backstory here in a little bit, or UTEP, right? Texas El Paso. Yeah, okay. So we're going to get into his backstory. But before we get started, what'd you say?
It's 188.
189.
189.
Episode 189 of the Pour Horsemen podcast. We are missing our brother JC today, but he had KC out there running in the park, and somehow you won the race.
Yeah, somehow.
There couldn't have been no athletes out there.
First off, hold up.
There couldn't have been no athletes out there.
First off, when people always get on me because I got like skinny legs and like a bigger upper body, I can't.
First off, you don't really have a big upper body.
I do.
Let's be honest.
But like my legs,
I
wish I had like big.
But you acting like you just cock diesel. And
no,
really
I ain't saying like I'm cock diesel, but like I got like a runner's legs.
That's fair.
And that's because I used to be a runner. You know, when growing up, you had to play two sports and people play football and basketball. I ran cross country.
We got someone else who did that here in a little bit that ran track.
And it wasn't like
football.
I shied away from football, especially in middle school, because in middle school I actually wanted to play, but they never threw the ball. They always used to just run it like running back.
You gotta get on. You can't be on the mic. Just see it already ready to jump.
They never throw the ball. So I was like, I'm not gonna go out there and just be blocking and shit. I'm about to go run cross country. That's gonna help me in basketball, and that's what I always did. And I always became a long distance runner until I stopped. But yesterday I did it, and I'm still sore today. I'm hurting, but I finished in first. You know what I'm saying? 5K, 26 minutes, and I literally rolled out of bed. My wife is here to attest to that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a beautiful thing. You feel me?
No, for sure.
All right, but we got a special guest today. So I don't know where we should start with our introduction, because I've watched some interviews, read about his story. We could say he's a two-sport athlete, superstar athlete out of Houston. Two-sport. We could say that he is ushering in a new era of R&B here in Houston as well. We could say he the Houston hook king also, because if a rapper want to make sure that his hooks are the way they need to be, they probably gonna call this brother here. But without further ado, Mr. Freeman, please introduce yourself to our audience, please.
I think you did it, man. My name is Jack Freeman, Houston, Texas, a.k.a. Captain Hook, a.k.a. Watch for the Hook, a.k.a. I don't have that many a.k.a.s. I'm just Jack Freeman. I'm here. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Nah, man. We
appreciate you, bro.
We wanted to get this done. Shout out to Tanisha for helping us facilitate this also.
Tanisha is one of the greatest people I know.
Straight up.
We agree with that. We definitely agree. She's our drunk facilitator on the pod, so we're just going to get you drunk without her today.
She was my drunk facilitator in New Orleans for a very long time.
Okay.
And before she moved here.
Yeah.
So when she moved here, I actually, the thing about Tanisha, I saw her more when she lived in New Orleans than I do when she lived in Houston.
We didn't see that in like 3 months at least.
Yeah. So shout out to Tanisha, man. She is absolutely the drunk facilitator.
No doubt.
For all times.
No doubt. So we just want to get right into it, brother. I want to get into your sports history first, because we talk a lot of sports on this pod. Generally, we go to a basketball question. One of our basketball questions would be, and we're going to do it with football and track with you instead.
Okay.
So generally, one of our basketball questions would be.
I can do basketball too, but go ahead.
Oh, you can hoop.
I mean, I have a nice jump shot. I did not get past 5'8", so I just stopped playing basketball, and it really wasn't my passion like that.
Gotcha.
But I watch a lot of basketball. I know my brother was a basketball player.
Okay.
So yeah.
So we're gonna ask the 3-part question then. So the first one would be our normal question. If you were in the NBA right now, who would your game be like?
My game, probably Dame. I would probably be Dame.
That nice thing.
Shooter.
Yeah, I was like mainly just because I like his game the most.
Nah, you got to be who would your game be?
Who do you
If
play
I'm
like?
hooping right now,
If you hooping right now,
shit. If I get out there and I hoop right now, I'm probably IT because I'm just small.
I never seen you hoop before.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna say I'll give you Brunson from the Mavs.
Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, he's nice.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like you'll be like
a
a feisty defender and a facilitator, and you can make the shot when
I
it
can
comes
do
to
those things. I really can jump. I could jump.
Because you got the track background.
I was just a jumper for whatever reason. But I'm a 2-footed jumper. I'm not a one.
Okay.
So like, but I could jump. I think my vertical in college was like 34. I was like a freshman when we did that. But like, I would probably just try to model my game a little bit more after Dame. Like Dame doesn't seem to exude a lot of energy doing what he does. He just,
Pace yourself.
yeah, you pace yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm really fast too. So like maybe Dame, probably a little bit of Russell Westbrook too.
So ruining the
because of the
Lakers season
speed.
then, huh? Just getting the Lakers out the playoffs.
Man,
So you put it on. See, you just like
put
them
it on
whites.
Russ, huh?
You just
I'm
like
actually
them.
putting it
That's
on
crazy.
Bron too, though.
Just like them whites.
I am white.
So is this the same question for?
No, so
for
football. If
What?
you were on the football field right now, who would you be? 2 years at UTEP, right?
yeah.
Okay.
I was a slot, so I was a very fast version of Edelman. I was very like I was so that, like with Welker and Edelman and Amendola, like those guys right there, they're not fast guys at all. They're probably like
skilled.
4'6" guys. I was a 4'3" guy doing the same thing they was doing.
Shit.
Okay.
So I had the routes, and I could catch anything.
Okay.
Your route running was good.
Yeah, my route running was really, really good.
Yeah.
Especially being a smaller guy, like I had to get around guys. So
For
like,
sure.
and in the slot, I was always running in the linebackers, which that was a bad idea. But and I moved out of play split. Like I played X for a little while too.
Okay.
I played the Z, you know. But
I mean, with that speed, that would help. Yeah, that would help.
yeah, but they couple of teams wanted me to play corner in college, and I was not with that. So
Yeah, because then you got to come down here and tackle running backs when they break that.
well, also a lot of people don't understand it's the hardest position in the league.
Without question.
It's the hardest position on the field.
Without
That's like
question.
Willie Beeman when he was like, you had some coaches label me a corner, had me playing separated my shoulder, and that took away years of my career.
I
So
had
yeah,
speed.
I'm out here to get mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, funny story. I was getting recruited to Arkansas, and they were getting ready to run a spread offense with
Petrino.
quarterback. Mitch Mustaine was there.
Mitch Mustaine.
And Coach Malzahn was there. Gus Malzahn.
Oh,
Malzahn ended up
okay,
going
yeah.
to Auburn and winning the national championship.
Yeah.
A couple years later, but Houston Nutt. I found out later on that Houston Nutt, the head coach, did not want to run a spread.
Okay. Okay.
Mostly because he had 3 running backs, and those running backs were Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, and Peyton Hillis.
Yeah.
And they wanted to run a pro style.
Yeah.
I got a
And
funny story about Felix Jones.
and when you know anything about college sports, they'll offer based on what they need. So
Yep.
like if they run a 3-4, they're going to offer a lot of more linebackers than they would defensive linemen. If they run a spread, they're going to offer a lot more wide receivers than they would running backs.
Yeah.
So they were basically like, look, if we run a spread, we're gonna have maybe 10 to 15 guys at wide receiver, but we're not. So we're probably gonna travel maybe 4 or 5 receivers. So if you just say you'll play corner,
Yeah.
then we'll offer
That's
you.
the hustle.
Yeah,
That's the
But
hustle.
see, when I graduated, my graduating class was at wide receiver. It was Des Bryant, Julio Jones. Who else was 07 with me? It was quite a few guys. It was guys I had never even heard of in Cali, and it was just Texas. Like we were in Texas, so like Desmond Briscoe, all of these guys. Like we was like, and I'm just looking at these guys, and they're all oversized wide receivers. They're 6'3", 6'4". I'm 5'8", and I'm not trying to learn a new position at this point and playing the SEC. So they wanted me to play corner, and that's why I didn't go to Arkansas.
What year you graduated high school?
07.
07. What high school did you go to?
I went to South Falls.
South. Oh, okay, South.
So you RG3 was in your class.
RG3 was 08.
Oh,
wait.
okay, yeah.
I ran
yeah.
against RG in summer track though.
Okay, so we'll talk track now.
Yeah.
If you were to pick a event in the Olympics, what would you have been running for?
I was a 400 runner.
At 5'8"?
Yeah.
Wow.
I could run every sprint. I could run everything from the 1 to the 8. But my PR in the 100 wasn't good enough to really just like, I mean, if I worked at it, maybe, but
Gotcha.
I think I was like a 10-500.
What was your 400 best?
400, my PR open was 47.7. I ran at my sophomore year.
You was
and I
running
ran
for real.
my split was 46.3.
You was running for real.
So the 1600 is the mile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they had me do. I did it one time, and I was in second to last place going into the last lap because I thought I had my timing right.
Yeah. No.
And so I like sprinted the entire last lap, and I finished in third place.
Yeah.
And literally almost had to get an ambulance call.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I almost died.
Yeah, I didn't run. I did not run. So that was crazy. It was, I could run a 10.5. I ran a 4.340. I ran about a 21.1 200. I was a 47, 46, 400 runner, but I also ran a 155 and an 8.
Damn.
So like I could do
2 and 8?
Yeah, because my coach made me run 800s to get in shape for the 400.
So why didn't you try to pursue so for people out there who don't know track numbers, those are
It was a very good high school number.
those are crazy high school numbers. Why didn't you pursue that in college versus football then?
Because for those that are not, if you got kids that are being recruited into sports, the rule in the NCAA is that if you play football and you run track, any school that you go to on scholarship has to be a football scholarship and not a track scholarship. They only give 12.6 scholarships. So there's a lot of guys on the track team that have partial scholarships.
So did UTEP give you
They gave me the football scholarship.
Okay.
But the problem when you go on the football scholarship is
they don't
that
want you to run track.
they don't want you to.
Yeah.
But they tell you that you can if that's
they don't
what's going
want
to
you
appease you, right? So, that's the rule though, because of Title IX and the allotment of scholarships, because they give Division 1A schools all give 85 football scholarships. So there's 85 guys on scholarship, and that's any school. Track gives 12 and a half, so there's no reason to be on a full track scholarship when you could just occupy the football money.
Without question.
Right. So, and that also doesn't really make a lot of, it's unfair to the women as well, because there's no sport that gives 85 scholarships for women, right? So the problem with me was I wanted to play both sports, and most schools that recruited me for track said, do you just want to run track? Because if not, then we have to go talk to the football coaches.
Of course, to get that clearance.
I mean, Kentucky was around trying to get me to come run track for them. When Arkansas ended up not offering me, the track coach called me and wanted me to just do that. I had a few track offers. U of H was one.
That was before Carl, though. And Leroy was the coach.
Leroy was there.
Was the coach then. Yeah.
Carl was like a consultant, I believe.
Yep. He didn't become a assistant coach until like 2016.
He's a coach now?
He's the assistant coach.
Yeah. And they ended up, U of H, both sports actually were recruiting me and a guy named Tyrone Carrier. Okay. Tyrone Carrier went to Worthing. We played the exact same position. And so if you know U of H's lineage, they had Donnie Avery one year, they had Vincent Marshall. So he was their guy. And I would have been that guy if, I had gotten the scholarship instead of Tyrone. But Tyrone ended up going on the football scholarship, doing really well at U of H. He's a coach now. But that was the issue, is that they that's why I didn't play both sports, because Mike Price, the head coach at UTEP, and his sons came to my house after I committed, and they said, we have no problem with you running track. And then I get there, I red shirt, and then they say, well, yeah, we went 4-8. We don't really want y'all running track. I was like, no, y'all went 4-8.
Yeah, you wasn't on the team.
I just practiced. You know what I'm saying? I did everything you asked me to do. But they, and that time, they do a lot of things, to kind of put you in, make you feel like you're in danger of losing your scholarship and all that stuff. But we had a lot of guys on our team that ran track. A guy named Donald Buckram, who I was he went to Copper's Cove with RG3. My guy Tough was a long jumper, I believe, a triple jumper, I believe. We had a few guys that was on the team that could really run. And UTEP was a legendary track program. Like, couple Olympians that they had over there. I would have loved to run for Coach Kitchens, but I just didn't get a chance.
What's that movie with Omar Epps? He running the track?
The program.
Higher Learning. No, Higher Learning.
Higher Learning, that's right.
Yeah, he gets shot by, or no, who gets shot
Ty
by?
Brace got
I
shot.
love Omar Epps, but Omar Epps plays a bad athlete in every movie. That
What other movie was he an athlete in?
He was Loving Basketball.
The program.
The program. He was in a baseball movie too, I believe.
He was. He replaced Wesley Snipes in Major League 2.
Oh,
yes.
I never saw Major League 2. I didn't even know that happened.
Wesley Snipes was in Major League.
Omar Epps is a 4-year letterman in movie sports movies.
Yeah,
he
got everything.
Everything.
He
played
played
everything.
4-sport letterman. That's crazy.
He played
did
track,
football,
Football, track,
baseball,
and
basketball.
basketball.
So he did every sport.
Yep.
And none of them y'all say he was a good athlete.
He's probably a bit of a better hooper unless they use the body double.
Nah,
in baseball, he did real good. It just wasn't. Everybody loved Wesley Snipes in Major League.
But see, I never saw Major League 2. I never even know
You know
that
what I'm saying?
existed.
But that's what it was.
Is that
though.
when Wesley got hit with the taxes?
No, Wesley was like a
Bigger than that at
mega
that
star.
point.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
one
Like,
of those
Is that
sequel
after
that
Blade
shit.
Trinity, maybe?
No.
And it probably wasn't the same
It was
director.
way
either.
before all that shit. It was like after White Man Can't Jump and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's like 90s.
It was
But I
early
don't,
90s.
I don't remember Major League 2. Yo, I'm
But
drawing
see
a
what
blank.
happens.
I never remember that.
What happens with the franchise?
That was like
a lot of
95,
times-
96.
Yeah, what happens with the franchise a lot of times is the producers, the studio they own the franchise. So
True.
they're gonna do the sequel whether the director is there or not.
Without it. Yeah.
And so that's how that ends up happening. That's how they did that to Fast for a while.
This is around the time when Wesley started doing them Passenger 57s and he was the headliner. He was the headliner. Money Train.
Yeah, he was King Dark.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not going back to
What
this
was
shit.
that? Murder at 1600.
Yeah, he was King Dark.
That movie, the movie with was it the one with
Always Bet on Black.
the one with Tommy Lee Jones?
Oh, not The Fugitive.
Damn, and Robert Downey Jr.
I know exactly what you're talking about too. I can't think of it
I
either.
can't think of the name. That movie.
Someone Google that for us while we think. Just Google.
Man, that movie goes
Wesley
so
Snipes,
hard, bro.
filmography.
Wesley Snipes got a
Yo,
That
he might be
movie's
the greatest black actor who
God damn.
didn't get his due because of that.
What
tax
was that
stuff.
goddamn movie called?
man, and there was some.
It's gonna kill me.
I bet if Wesley Snipes would have slapped Chris Rock, he'd have knocked him out. Because Wesley Snipes got that.
Wesley
that
Snipes had a karate. He had a karate background before
Wesley,
That's what I'm
Blade.
saying. He would have knocked Chris Rock out.
Also, y'all missing the biggest credit, the bad movie.
To Wong Fu?
No, the bad Michael Jackson video.
Oh yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
was
But-
mad.
That's the one right
but,
there.
But that ain't no movie though. It's a
It
video.
is to Michael Jackson.
It was. Michael Jackson
It was a
did used to-
12-minute movie,
He did
15-minute
used to make
movie.
videos though.
Yeah.
Like with
Yeah.
movies for real. Like he
Yeah.
really did.
That boy was a gang member.
All right, so let's get into Brother
U.S.
Freeman.
Marshals.
U.S. Marshals. Yes, I like that movie.
U.S. Marshals.
knew I
Yeah,
was-
that
I was
was a
thinking
good
about it.
movie.
I wasn't gonna
Wait,
allow
hold on,
myself
hold on.
to do that.
Phil, can you give us the breakdown of U.S. Marshals, brother?
No, man. No,
You
I
never
can't.
seen U.S.
I ain't
Marshals?
seen U.S.
See,
What movie have you seen of Wesley Snipes?
Oh, I seen most of Wesley Snipes movies, but not U.S.
He got a lot of movies.
you gotta watch that shit. Like
U.S. Marshals
that's
is
the
good.
movie you have to
U.S.
watch.
Marshals.
I'm personally telling you, this is a great ass movie. No comedy, no superheroes. This is
But they are
great.
acting like superheroes though.
No,
You-
he
you
don't
don't
like
like
superheroes.
In
He don't
U.S.
like
Marshals,
superheroes.
they are acting
you
like
don't like
superheroes.
superheroes?
It ain't that I don't like him.
He
I
doesn't
just
like
wasn't into
anything.
it.
He not into the mark.
But my son is. So
Yeah.
I'm
Gotcha.
learning.
Okay.
What have you learned though? Let's take a moment. What have you learned?
Well, let me tell y'all a quick story real quick. So my son is playing basketball. I'll let y'all know. So he has games on Tuesday. So my game and this my son and this other child was on the court and they were talking noise to each other. I could visibly see him talking noise to my son. So I'm looking at my son's reaction to see what he's doing, right? And I keep seeing him do his wrist at this kid. So I'm looking around. I'm like, what the hell is this man doing? What? So they let the kids rotate in and out the game.
How old is he, by the way?
7.
Okay, yeah.
So he goes to the sideline. I run over there. Hey, man, what's going on? Dad, my superpower's not working. I say, hey, listen, man. That shit don't work on the basketball court. He like, Dad, don't underestimate me. It's gonna come. I'm like, no. Not gonna come,
I
man.
gotta get 20 and 10.
That's how you get 20
and
cents,
10.
son.
I say that works after you get off the basketball court. You have to actually play defense. So I blame KC, JC, and LP
Don't blame me.
for this Marvel shit. And my son thinking that he can put somebody in a well on the basketball court. Because I didn't teach him that shit.
Yes, you did.
No, I
you let him do it.
I let him.
You definitely let him do it
You know
before
what
the game.
you know what it is.
I
though?
do let him do it to me.
Okay, so it's
It's
your
the-
fault. You should have stopped it then.
It's the
But he watched the podcast. And
it's
he
the
said,
confusion factor though.
What's that?
It's the confusion factor. While I'm dribbling, if somebody try to spin it, I'm like,
Nah,
wait, what?
my-
and then
my
you
daughter
steal
plays-
it. And then
no.
you steal the ball.
My daughter plays basketball, and if any kid ever did this, I'm dribble around him and score. That's what I'm gonna say. And
Cook
laugh.
his ass.
And
Cook
laugh
his
on the
ass.
way when he does that and wonder why it's not working.
Yeah.
Laugh at him. That's what I'm gonna say.
If I was a kid at that, and I was a terrible kid, by the way. So my background, I was a terrible kid.
Okay, all right.
And so
He's a terrible adult too. But go ahead.
I'm a semi-terrible adult. You know what I'm saying? I'm a great husband, great father, semi-terrible husband.
Terrible.
You know Mike Tyson. Nigga say I'm a semi-good father. Semi-good father.
Semi is a good ratio though to me.
But so when I was a kid, I would have definitely had some witty shit. Yeah, I just spun your bitch. I would have been terrible. I would have talked shit.
You seem terrible.
At 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we got to get into our brother's origin story though, because there's a lot. Go ahead.
Going into his origin story, I just want to say this. This guy was like at the highest peak popularity of Twitter. It was around this guy. He had like a Twitter following that was like second
But
to
he
none.
off Twitter now.
man.
But yeah,
We went and looked.
I looked.
Man,
What happened? Okay, we're gonna talk about that then too.
He
because
had,
I went and looked.
I did too.
Okay.
Like literally, if there was trending topics in Houston, it was probably behind this dude.
You got banned
wow.
too, didn't you?
I did, and my new one is like really nothing, but I like it like that because I don't have
permanently
to.
banned.
No, I got they took my account.
Oh no, I'm permanently banned.
Damn it, man!
Oh, we need to hear this story.
I do,
We need to hear
but I'm giving to get like the viewers. This man would like have trending topics. Anything that was going on, he had a spin around it.
What was your Twitter?
I am Jack Freeman.
No, it was underscore Jack Freeman.
Okay.
Because
So
I wanted the Jack Freeman one, and it was a person that never posted anything.
A
that
white.
started a company. It was
That was a white Nubian king.
a white man.
a white.
White man.
That's how you just got. You ain't gotta say. You just gotta say white. So
Stay woke.
like,
No, all right, let's
No.
get to the origin though.
I'm going into it. So seeing that, and then where he at now, I feel totally betrayed because when we had the fashion boutique week,
Yes.
he was there.
Yes.
He like nobody really heard it, but I heard it, and that's why I always knew to keep him in ear of bringing them on. When we did the June 27th
Yes.
freestyle, he started singing, and nobody really cut. Yeah,
I remember
and
that.
I remember that shit. And I got live, and then he was like, he had the Gorin brothers. Am I saying it right? Gorin brothers.
Yeah.
He had the Gorin brothers hat on.
Shout out to
he was
Gorin Brothers.
dressed up.
Holla at us
Big
too.
up to Gorin Brothers.
So knowing his ass was gonna be here today, I thought I was gonna go in my R&B steez.
Yeah, you dressed like Silk in
My man
97.
dressed up. My man,
You did this for me?
yeah, 'cause I was like, yo, I was like,
He dressed like there's a meeting in his bedroom.
Look, my clothes that I wore is over there. I had on some regular stuff, and like I was like, I know we got the R&B crooner. I put my buttons out, you know what I'm saying? I got the chest showing.
I don't make you.
Man, my man dressed like
He dressed like us.
he dressed like us. I feel betrayed.
Right. You the one that came dressed like Casey and JoJo. Reunion.
I kinda
tour.
like those shoes.
I do like
though.
those
You know what
shoes.
I'm saying?
though.
Are those
I do like
Blazers?
shoes.
Nike Blazers,
Nike
you know what I'm
I
saying?
like those.
Yeah,
Okay,
you know
so
what
let's
I'm
get into
saying?
the
Blazers.
origin
We got laced up here, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
the
origin
Soul
story.
Hand Blazers, to be exact.
What made the shift from athletics to music? And could you always sing? Was it that you just never really put any attention to it, focus? Because I think I was watching somewhere earlier. You said that you really didn't really get started till like 2009. So
Yeah.
So what from all of that athletic background, when did you start diving into the music?
So I always knew I could sing. I was probably like maybe 6 when I knew. But at that time when you're a kid, you don't really understand that like you can use your brain for so many different things. And so
but we are conditioned to just pick one thing though.
yeah, absolutely.
We
I mean,
really are.
Coaches will tell you to pick one sport.
Yes. Specialize.
Which I totally discourage that. Unless the sport is track. Because you have to run all the time.
My daughter runs 3 days a week with Texas Storm.
Wow.
Texas Storm was a new team when I started running.
Okay, well, she runs every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They run 3 days a week.
Man, I so like when it came to sports, I just never really felt like I've always loved music because my family is, you know, in one way or another, they're just into music. Like my dad can sing, my sister can sing. My brother just, you know, is a big music fan. And my mom appreciates really good music as well. Both of my parents were actually in the church choir. You know, my sister was in the choir and all that stuff. So I just went full steam ahead as an athlete and just, you know, that was just my thing. So I didn't even really bother to really do anything. But then I learned in high school that girls like singers.
They do like musicians.
And then
straight up.
And that was cool. And then I got, so what happened at UTEP was that I just woke up one day and I literally said, I don't want to play football anymore. And I was like,
After 2 years.
After 2 years, I took the Christmas holiday to think about it. And then I went back and I told them I didn't want to play anymore. My parents were supportive of that. And at that time, I was like, well, I know how to sing. I think I know how to write a song. And I'd never written a song before in my life. Now, in theory, I figured out that I probably was writing songs because I was one of those people that used to be in high school and like take songs and make up songs like about food or whatever.
You was freestyling.
I was freestyling, but I had like lyrics with the shit. So like it was like basically remember how you used to wake up and 97.9 be on and
what's up, y'all? What you gotta say?
No, it was when they used to sing the HISD lunch menu.
I don't
so it'd be like J Mac and Mad Hatter, and they'd be like, "Ooh, for lunch, for lunch, for lunch."
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Tell me what's for lunch.
Yeah, I remember
so,
that.
Like I used to do that at school.
Yo, Houston is a wild place.
Yeah,
man.
I do remember that. Now that he
wild.
said that shit,
I used to be like one of the ones I used to gravy, mashed potatoes, cornbread, and gravy. You know, I was doing that shit in high school, right? So I just
wait, hold on. Let's take a second. You said the girls like that in high
they
school?
liked it. Oh, they loved it. It was great because they just thought it was, you know, because girls like funny guys.
True.
You know what I mean? So
shit, I need to get me a gravy flip then for when Pam Grier come around.
And then every now and then, you know, we all was freestyling. Like I'm from like the Inwood area. Like
you from the north side?
I'm from the north side.
Okay.
So like the first Swisher House CD was Northside 11 that I had.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like I was always, you know, everybody tried to freestyle at some point, right? So as I got to making music, I was like, I think I know how to write a song. That doesn't really seem that hard. But then I was like, I'm kind of like the things I know I can do sound delusional to other people.
Gotcha.
Right? Like I really be like, I could do that. Every time I've ever done something, I said, I could do that. When I was 4, I was watching football and I said, I could do that. And
that's reasonable though.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
When I started running track, I was like, I think I could do that. I'm fast. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and nobody really, I had family that just was never really good at telling me that I couldn't do anything. Yeah. Like they were never going to be the ones that was like, nah, Jack, like you probably should chill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they thought I could do everything. Like my parents.
I got an Aunt Frances that prevented me from getting Cartier glasses for a lot of my life. And I'm looking at you through them hoes right now. Aunt Frances, you couldn't prevent this shit for the life. You know what I'm saying? Aunt Frances, you know what I'm saying? The Cartiers is on.
The Cartiers. She told you couldn't get no Cartiers?
First off, she was a hater. My cousin Bernard had some Cartiers and went to prison for life, and she wouldn't let me take his.
What kind of story is this?
Wow.
Yeah,
Was that his mom?
That's his mom. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I
This is a
understand.
terrible story.
Francis.
Yeah, in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So Aunt Francis, you know what I'm saying?
Do
Shout
not
out to
encourage
you because you
Tell you,
motivated
Aunt Francis.
this. You know what I'm saying?
Stop all that hating.
You a hater,
Francis.
Aunt Francis.
So you always knew you was
Shit.
flipping songs when you was in high school. Decided football wasn't the thing. You transferred to PV. What crew? Because what's y'all crew? Oh, turn that light back on. We got time. Keep going. What crew were you a part of? What's y'all, the Nice Guys? What is it that y'all are part of?
They were like, I used to collaborate with the Nice Guys because they were like really the only people that I knew in Houston that was like really making music that I was like real good friends with.
Okay.
And you know, at PV though, like, you know, we was running into a lot of guys. Like that was like PV. When I was at PV, that was before I really met Kirko. And to be honest, nobody at PV was really making the music that I was trying to make. Like everybody was making party, for the most part, everybody was making party music. Everybody was, you know, boogieing. And I liked the music, but I wasn't making that kind of music. So like, I was always a huge hip hop fan. And it just so happened that I had a friend named Eve who was from New York that rapped. And his producers in the group, Todd and Free and Candlestick were making beats that he could rap to. And so
DJ Candlestick,
yeah.
Okay.
And
we got to get this is the third Candlestick reference we've got on the pod.
Candlestick's
we
a
get
ghost.
him on.
Candlestick's a ghost.
That's what everyone tells us
He's
too.
a ghost. Yeah. If you could get him on a podcast, I gotta be there for that.
You guys, you gotta throw us through.
Because I have to see it happen.
Look,
I have to
look,
gotta help us.
believe that it's actually
he
being
sounded
done.
like a big fish, and with you being the Houston Hook King, you gotta hook him in.
I mean, I could call him.
Him, Tubo, who else said? A bunch of people have mentioned Candlestick to us at this point. So that's like the third or fourth person.
Also, Candlestick does not know this, but Candlestick is my second favorite party DJ I've ever heard in my life. And the first is Jazzy Jeff. Now I've been to D Nice parties. I've been to Kid Capri parties. I've been to Biz Marquee party. Rest in peace. I've seen A-Track.
Okay.
I've been to a few raves. I've been to a lot. I've seen Just Blaze. Candlestick is my second favorite DJ.
That's what's up.
Who's first?
Kid Capri feel like
Jazzy Jeff.
Judge Jeff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kid
Jazzy Jeff
Capri
is
likes to
so-
hear himself talk
No.
a lot. No, that's
York
not
DJs are
that's not
very
a negative.
different.
New York DJs is about as I would say as aggressive as the stereotypes of New Yorkers in itself. You know what I'm saying?
New York DJs are very, very different. I think he has a good technical style, but for my taste, the one Jazzy Jeff party I went to, I was like, yo,
I saw Jazzy Jeff on the
sick.
Breakfast Club too, and he said that he doesn't do the music that is like current.
Yeah.
Like he does his own set
that shit.
that works for him.
If you let him do what he wants to do, you can listen to a song and figure out what he's about to transition. And I could give you 100 guesses of what his song is going to be the next one, and you'll get it wrong every time.
Wow. Wow.
Like, he's
okay.
that
He
good.
that
That's
good.
special.
Because
He's
you know
that
most
good.
DJs
That's
you
special.
know
what's
you
coming.
hear it in
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I got it. I got the beat down. I know what's coming up next.
Jeff is like if I had anyone ask me what they would do to who they could watch to start DJing, I would say watch Jazzy Jeff, and I would say take a look at Candlestick style, because Candlestick, he just got a different pocket that I like. So yeah,
Let me
so shout out
ask
to
you this.
Candlestick.
Let me ask you this. You was going back to you freestyling in the cafeteria, singing your shit about cornbread and shit like that. So when that song came out and they remixed it, what's the old lady name? It was like greens, potatoes, yams.
You name it.
Shirley Caesar.
Shirley Caesar.
Miss Shirley Caesar. Was you like, man, I could have did that?
You know what's funny about that Shirley Caesar song is if you go to church in the morning, if your parents made you go to church in the morning, you heard that song.
Or something similar for sure. Or something similar for sure.
So,
For sure.
John.
John
For something similar,
in the
for
house
sure.
and John was sick. Yeah, all that. I love Shirley Caesar. I love Shirley Caesar.
I can't believe you was the originator of that back in the 90s. You was in there singing.
I was not the originator.
See, my pops used to have a like a remedy that he used to
I
say.
thought you was about to say he was in a singing group.
No,
I was gonna
not
leave
a
the
singing
set,
group.
bro.
But he used to have his thing where he used to be like, beans and cornbread had a fight. Beans not cornbread, real or right. he used to sing that shit to us to make us eat our shit. And Jerry used to, like, JC used to soak that shit up, eat up all his
That's
shit.
why JC swole now. He
And
needs a
I
cornbread.
used to be like, man, I ain't, nigga, that song dope, but I ain't eating that shit.
All right. So PV, you started making music. When did you know that like this is what I'm gonna be doing? Like when did it catch on to you? Was it the Face record? Was it records that you did with Killer Colleon? When did you know, all right, I got something here?
The funny thing about music is that when you get in it and you start making music, no matter how you start making the music, what ends up happening is if you're actually even remotely good, or if someone thinks that you're even remotely good, they ask you to perform it. And so I got thrown into it.
Okay.
I did the song with the Nice Guys. That was like December 2009. January 2010, Free is looking at me drunk like, yo, are you ready to perform this? Open up for J. Cole.
Free who?
I'm like, Free.
106 in Park.
No, Nice
not
Guys.
that Free.
Nice
Oh,
Guys.
Yeah, Nice Guys Free.
Oh, shit.
So
about to say.
I'm like,
But they did open for J. Cole though.
J. Cole's first Houston show.
Very first Houston
The
show.
very first time.
Didn't they go
remember
to a college? Where did they go
We went
first?
to the Black Student Conference at A&M.
A&M.
And
Yeah.
then the next day he came to House of Blues. I mean, not House of Blues, Warehouse Live.
So y'all opened.
For
Did
J.
you have
Cole.
nerves? Like, I mean, because you never did music performances before.
Yeah, it was just like you just get thrown up there. And it's like, but if you're an athlete, you understand that, like, look, it doesn't really matter how fast you are or how good you are or whatever. You're getting in the game. You're getting in the race. If you're on a relay, you're about to get the baton. So everything that you thought, like, that's my mentality of it. Everything that all of your anxiety about this shit,
It can go bad.
it doesn't even make any difference at this point because you in it now.
You gotta
Straight up.
do it.
You there.
Yeah,
you
it's
there.
like
Just like a
jumping
hooper.
out of a plane, the bungee jump. Well, you got to do it now.
Yeah.
Because once you out, you can't get back in.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
So it's like,
and I would never know.
yeah, but when you look at it, when you watch it, it's like, because I've never bungee jumped either, but or skydove or whatever. But once you jump out,
Yeah, you.
it ain't no,
it's
no,
over.
no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like once you get on stage, there is no, for me, there is no, oh, happy day. There's none of that for me. There's none of that for me. It's like, look, I got to do it. And like, again, I have very, very possibly unrealistic, very delusional ideas of who I am.
Nah, that's how it should be.
When
That's how it should
when
be.
I jump out there, I'm like, shit, I can do this. I've run anchor leg my entire life in front of thousands of people.
Yeah, because Texas Relays is huge, bro.
Yeah, and won it.
That's one of the
Like-
biggest. That's bigger than some of the national track meets.
Yeah,
I went to Texas Relay several times.
I went like
Never to the track
like
meet.
Me too. Like,
I never
went to
made
Texas-
it.
I went to Texas Relay for others.
but to that point, track builds a lot of very individual confidences in yourself.
Straight up.
Because there is no, man, if my start ain't good, then I'm gonna just have somebody else run the rest of the race.
You're right.
for me. There's none of that.
Yeah.
My first 2 years, I won the Junior Olympic in the 400, and I went in 3 events. You know what I'm saying? Like there is no, when the gun goes off, what you brought there with you is what you about to
Exactly.
get there with. That's
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Even in football, if you just don't want to play, you could tap your helmet, coach can
can.
come out,
You can
and
get
you
out
be
the
like,
game.
why Jack ain't, basketball, you could do the same thing. Track, the only thing you can do is not show up to the race.
Yeah.
And there is none of that. So that's what it is on the stage with me. It's like, I'm like, to myself, I'm like, oh, we about to perform? oh shit, that's cool. And then I'm thinking to myself, no, like, you know how to do this.
Yeah.
You know how to do this. It's just that now you're about to do it in front of all of these people.
Thousands.
Yeah. And when you get there, but you realize that J. Cole is really feeling his way around too. The first thing J. Cole came out there and said after his first song in Houston, I remember this like it was yesterday. He said, my manager, who's his manager now still, my manager told me, yo, we got a show in Houston. And I said to myself, yo, we got fans in Houston? And everybody was like, yeah! Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Cole didn't even have an album out.
I saw J. Cole when he first came out in Oklahoma. I was at Club, goddamn.
Lexus?
No,
Mickey's?
Rock Lounge. Rock Lounge.
Okay.
And it was like, it was
I
a
didn't even know
bar.
they had that many clubs in Oklahoma.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's Oklahoma City. And back then, it was even worse because it was like no bottle service, none of that shit. Yeah. So he performed literally like on a little stage, like probably from that chair to that chair, and it was like enough space, right? Like he's in the middle where that tripod is, and it was a pole right there. And he was like, I don't even know if this is a stripper pole or shit, but he just wrapped around it. Yeah. Like that's where he came from.
Now he flipping
you know
UK
what I'm saying?
rap.
It's crazy.
He killed
Now
it
he's
too.
flipping UK rap.
But back to what Jack was saying, being in the moment, so to speak, right? One time I went to jail, city jail, right?
I went to county.
Yeah, I went to city jail. And once that brother threw me the orange outfit, I was like, I'm here now. This is, nobody's coming to get me. I am here. This is what I have to deal with.
Quick question. When you went to county, did they tell you, did they try to knock you out and spin your butt?
Yo, I saw that video. And them dudes, where's my camera? Which camera's pointing at me?
Put the camera on.
Is this
right in the middle.
right,
right in the middle.
Brothers, you have to stop sitting in front of that drum set on Vlad TV,
dog,
and telling all your business.
I don't understand it.
You have to stop doing that. I could have gone my entire life
without
not knowing that niggas was in Chicago sneaking dudes
to spit loogies
in the, and he said ketchup and mustard,
and flaming hots,
flaming hots.
Bro, I don't want none of that. None of that. But I will tell you this. I went in there for traffic warrants. I got into a car accident. Somebody rear-ended me into another car, right? I went in there for traffic warrants. I had to spend the night in there, right? Because it takes like 30 minutes to process you in. It takes like 8 hours to process you out.
Yeah,
right?
because you got to wait on the judge.
Yeah. Also, no, it's not even the judge. The judge gave me time served at 10 p.m. I got out at 10 a.m. the next day.
How you get time served? Oh, because you was already in there all day.
Because once you plead guilty, it's just like,
there.
you know, you've paid your debt to society, bro.
Yeah.
So I never got processed in and had to do the thing, right? With the clothes or whatever. But you know, I'm in there in street clothes.
Real criminal then. That's what we finding out.
I was just in there for a week.
I'm in a for a week. Whoa, no sir.
Wait,
no sir.
week.
No sir. I spent 16 hard hours in there.
13 hours for Oklahoma City.
And I was in there and I was trying to think of all the things that I could snitch on. Do I know any coke dealers? Because I bet if I give him to this nigga right now, they'll let me out on these traffic warrants.
What year was this?
This was 2014.
You had just watched American Gangster. You thought you was going to be there.
That's actually what got me my Scarface feature.
Really?
Yeah. So
tell that. We need to hear that then.
So I spend the night in jail, right? I get out at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Didn't have to pay no bill. I was just like, you've done everything you needed to do. Cool. So I get out of there. I was really looking for a nigga to snitch on though. I was like,
he's adamant about that, man.
I could not reiterate that enough. Look, let me tell you something. When I know that y'all out here trying to spit in people's butts, bro, let me tell you something. I'm telling. Don't commit no crimes with me. I'm telling. KC had, sir, I ain't got nothing. KC, this was his idea. Look at him. To rob this store.
With his meeting in my outfit on.
The nigga with the wax jeans on.
Right now. Yeah, but he did it. He need to go to jail right now, actually. Like,
do not commit no felonies with me. You're
telling. You're a civilian.
You going to jail.
You're going to, though.
Not me.
Yeah,
going to jail.
You're definitely
anyway,
going.
I'm not doing it. I'm not built for it. They don't have no Whataburger in jail. They don't have none of that. They don't have none of that. So anyway.
They gonna be like, hey, you ain't in here, you ain't no free man.
Yeah, no. You just another nigga out here in these streets. You know, no,
you ain't no free man in here, Jack.
And then like I hear all the stories Alisa detail about prison. And I'm like, dog, prison is not a place.
Ali stories are wild.
Prison
bro.
is not a place for a human being, bro, at all. And I'm telling you that as a person that went for traffic warrants.
Shout out to Ali Sadiq, too, one of the greatest storytellers
I
have ever heard in my life.
Man,
that's the guy from 102.1, right?
Yeah, he's on 102 now, but he's a comic
all the time.
He's one of the dopest
one
comics
of the greatest storytellers. Man, we need to get him.
I listen to him every day after when I get out work.
I got out of there, and my car is in the shop because it got damn near totaled out. So I'm there. I'm depressed. Sunday comes around. Steve-O, recording engineer in Houston. He's also a tour manager now. He does a lot of stuff on the tour side now. He called me and he said, yo, you trying to do this Scarface record? And I said, excuse me? And he said, Scarface. And I said, nigga, yeah, absolutely. Because I also have a very wild way of like, since I was a kid, like everything that I ever said I was going to do, I did.
That's what's
everything.
Up. That's what's up.
So when I got to music and I was doing hooks for people, I was like, man, if I ever do a song with Face and or Bun, like niggas can't tell me nothing in this city. And so 4 years in, I'm getting a call about doing a Scarface record. So I was like, yeah, but when we doing it though, because I don't have my car, so like if I got to get a studio, I got to get a ride.
And this before Uber.
Uber was new.
Okay.
But I just needed to know because like I'm not close to no studios. So so none of the studios that they work at. So I'm like, he's like, yeah, we're gonna do it Thursday in Stafford at James Hoover's studio. So I'm like, okay. He was like, you good? You know, you always got your car. What's up? You something wrong with your car? I said, yeah, man, I got rear-ended into another. I said, can he send me the song so I can write it? He's like, yeah, he don't really like sending songs on.
Because he wants you in the studio with him.
Yeah, he don't. But he also don't like, you know, it's like people shit leaks and all that stuff.
No doubt.
You know, all that stuff. So I'm like, okay. He's like, you good though? You always got your car. I said, well, man, long story. A couple of days ago, I got rear-ended into another car. Ended up going to jail for traffic warrants. So I don't have my car right now. It's just in the shop. He said, you know what's crazy? The song is about being in jail.
Wow.
And he said, let me call Brad real quick. So he calls Brad. He tell him, he's like, yo, he just got out of county yesterday. And he said, send it to him right now. And when the beat came on, I literally wrote that song, wrote that hook in less than 5 minutes.
That's what's up.
And then we ended up, my barber, one of my best friends, who's also my barber, shout out to my boy Rotimi.
I said, yo, from Power?
No.
Oh.
No. So Ro, I called Ro. I said, man, I need a ride to the studio. I think Ro might have still been in that's hilarious, by the way. But Ro might have still been in barber school. And I said, yo, man, I need a huge favor from you. I need to get to the studio. Can you give me a ride on Thursday? He was like, yeah, cool. I said, you sure? He's like, yeah, what else you gonna do?
Yeah, straight up.
And I was like, you right. And he drove me to Stafford. He didn't live nowhere near me. He came to my house, picked me up, dropped me off there. We did the record, and that's how I met Scarface.
Nah, that's what's up. Shout out to Brad too, man. I need to see you back on the golf course too. I know he had some health problems over the last couple
years. That nigga was
years.
golfing a month after he got his kidney.
Yeah, so yeah,
he got a show tonight. Him and Thugger at Sugarland Financial. Ice Cube.
Yeah,
that's right.
Ice Cube.
Sugarland Financial tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
Everybody said that they would want to see Ice Cube verse Face in verses too.
They performing tonight.
But who? Okay, let's get into that. Look, and then we got a few other things we want to go into too.
Yeah.
Those would be more quick hits.
Yeah.
But since we brought up Face and we got a musician here, who wins out of Face and Ice Cube?
That's tough.
That's really tough.
My bias says says Brad, but I have reasons for that. The reason why I say Scarface wins is because I could argue that there is no such thing as a bad face verse. I don't think that's ever happened. I think that at a certain point, Ice Cube's performance of verses a lot of times didn't necessarily like, and I'm talking about like 99, 2000, 2001, Ice Cube, like, you know, because this is around the time he's doing film.
He started parodying himself at some point.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think that Brad has, and I've watched Brad, like Brad is very meticulous about the way he raps and his verses and stuff like that. And so because of that, from the late 80s when we heard Brad to now, he's got hard, like I don't think he has a bad album.
I would agree with that.
I think that you could argue that Cube has a bad, or not necessarily a bad album, but like albums that didn't hit the way his first four
are like the way he came out after the whole NWA situation. Now that we found out he was writing everything for them too.
Yeah.
We didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
Like no one knew that at the time.
But see, Brad was writing a lot of stuff for Bushwick.
We knew that though. We knew that though.
Yeah.
But NWA is on a larger scale.
That's what I was gonna get into. NWA went more global than
Bushwick.
Well, no, then
Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys.
Yeah.
They went more global. They did.
My unpopular argument is that NWA is bigger, but Ghetto Boys were better.
Oh, I don't disagree with that.
I
don't disagree with that.
Mostly because they put out more music. But I think rapper for rapper, like if the alpha dog is in the room, right? If it's KD versus LeBron, they the alpha dogs on the team, right? They could actually cancel each other out. Or one guy plays better than the other guy that night.
But who gonna go with Eazy-E?
But see, Eazy-E is Bushwick Bill.
Yeah, because all he did was
neither one of them wrote.
They recited.
But then they had Dre though. That's the thing. They had Dre,
they had Dre, but Ghetto Boys had Face as a co-producer. They had N.O. Joe as a producer. They had John Beto as a producer. They had Rick Rubin for an album. They had you know what I'm saying? Like NWA had the in-house guy, but but Ghetto Boys were the Ghetto Boys were really just the Southern NWA.
I forgot about N.O. Joe.
You can never forget about N.O. Joe.
I did though. Like what? That's crazy. Like
N.O. Joe is one of the most slept on producers
ever.
Yeah, but that's where I would.
No, I got you.
Before we go into these topics, dog, let me ask this because I kind of talked about it earlier. You kind of reinvented yourself, your image. So, like when I knew of you, like when you had the heavy Twitter following, even when we did the boutique, like I said, you had the Goin' Brothers hat, you know, with the I think it was like a yellow. You may have wore like a yellow motorcycle jacket. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But
I had a motorcycle jacket at the
but you know you was like the R&B motif. Now you know I've been noticing that you kind of you changed your image. Is that like something that was brought to you, or you just did it yourself?
It's not conscious. I think at some point I was just like, you know what? I don't really feel like wearing all that right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, is it because I still wear the hats and I still part of the issue with the hats though is that once I grew my hair out, it some of those hats don't fit.
Yeah.
So, but I still have them. So like I still rock them and I still do my thing with them. But I just have like so many different styles that I really just wake up and be like, I'm gonna just wear this today.
It was a two-part question because I also want to get with you being in R&B. Now, like back in the day, the image, the I guess the lyrics, you know, the melody and all that was like a high priority.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing like the R&B from my perspective, it's kind of been watered down. You got I can't remember the last like true R&B outside of Lucky Day.
Yeah.
Dream.
Lucky Day. What's my guy name? Giveon. But what's Gallant.
Yeah,
I like him.
Gallant, yeah.
There's only a few like that, just really like vocalists and like, you know, just really on their image and, you know, types. So is that kind of inspiration to like, not more so much inspiration, more like a influence to like go that route and go against
and maybe
to what you probably
and I
know.
want to piggyback and we'll stay there too. Because most R&B acts started doing pop records.
Yeah.
Like if you think about
Jason Derulo,
those are pop records. They're not R&B. So
like I always tell people is when I got into music, nobody was listening to R&B. There was nowhere to play it. There was nowhere to, like, if you went on 102, it was just a lot of older music that was like classic stuff. But at that time, there were no real R&B artists. Like all the R&B artists that we knew that were popping at that time started making EDM and house music because that's where the bag was. That you had Usher, oh my God, I'm so in. You had
Will.i.am.
We had Neo was doing it.
Yeah.
You had Chris Brown was doing it. Like everybody was doing EDM.
But you
music.
had women artists though that were doing R&B.
Yeah.
Floetry, Lettucey.
Yeah, they were doing
Chrisette
it.
Michelle, like those.
But when you think about it, there was only really one place that you could really hear any of that stuff. Like it was just maybe 102, and then maybe you could get lucky and find the Soul Train Awards. But like
that's true,
you know. But like at that time, 2010, 2011, everything was rap, everything was hip hop.
Yeah,
and then it maneuvered into you can't. In order for you to have a hit now, you need an R&B hook. And now R&B niggas is back. You know what I'm saying? So to your question, I've been more so concerned with making the best music that I know how to make, no matter what anybody else was necessarily doing. Because I don't really feel like there's anybody that sounds like me. And I don't really feel like, as far as my skill set, I don't feel like everybody can do all the things that I can do. So I really just cared about making great music and just making the shit that feels good to me. You know what I'm saying? Because like what ends up happening is that a lot of guys just end up trying to make the music that they think everybody else is gonna like, or they try to get the cheat code in and whatever the cheat code is at that moment in time, and they try to just make that. And I'm like, nah, I'm here to make great music at all times, and I always want to make the music that appeals to the five senses. First, it got to sound good, but then it has to also feel good. And when it feels good, you start thinking about the way things smell and the way things taste. You want to hear good music while you want to hear music with your wife while y'all are eating great food and looking good. Y'all not gonna wear your house clothes to the steakhouse, right? So you want to look good, you want to smell good, you want to feel good. The food got to taste good. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about the last time y'all went on a date to a new restaurant and the food was trash. That sucks, right? It's not a good experience.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Or think about the one date you went on in your life where the girl you went on the date with was dressed trash.
I don't think
or the guy you went on the date with was dressed trash.
See,
you know
once I got married, I don't think about dates like that. Like,
because you never been on a date until you met your wife, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I've been on dates before my wife.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I've been on dates,
but just think about how that feels.
No doubt.
When something is just off.
No doubt.
This brother knows what he's talking about.
He does, no doubt.
When something is off, you got to make sure it throws off the whole.
Who does that well? Rick Ross. Rick Ross will take you to a place
for sure. Yeah.
To where you feel like
you can smell the Wingstop.
You can smell
and the weed.
You can feel like you're a luxury and riding in a Corolla.
I was not eating at rallies until he mentioned rallies.
That's straight up.
What is rallies?
Like for real.
Rallies and Checkers. Yeah.
Oh, the Checkers.
Yeah.
Checkers.
It's the same thing though.
Got you.
It's like Hardee's and Carl Jr.
So your most recent your most recent album, at least, and we went through the back catalog too. Your most recent album though was 2018, right? Yep. Now you got to be cooking up something now, and I know as an artist you probably are very critical of yourself. Like I can imagine you've probably got something in the tuck already, but to you it probably don't sound the way you want it to sound. Like, or are you ready to put out a project? 4 years later, going into 2022.
Oh, I got a record coming in a couple weeks.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to lock in like the small details of everything. But I got a song coming out in a couple weeks. I've been working on this album for like over a year.
Wow.
And started around January last year. And at that moment you think that like, okay, I think I've recorded all the music I can record. But if you just keep going, and if you get with other producers and stuff like that, you just get pulled into doing some other shit. And then you might have some like, okay, but these are dope too. Like these are not only dope, but these are
better than what you got.
Better than a lot of the stuff I have, and better than what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying?
You got to compare yourself to what's out.
And it's not even, and I even shouldn't say better than what I'm hearing, but not what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? It's the void that needed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing that is, you got to occupy a lane that nobody else is in, because we can all be R&B singers, right? But if we're all doing the same thing, we can't all be Chris Brown.
Straight up.
We can't all be Usher.
Straight up.
We can't all be Michael Jackson. We can't all be that. Mm-hmm. We got to stand in the gap of, like, you got to find the gap and stand in it.
So and who would be your influences then?
One of my bigger influences has always been D'Angelo.
I can see that.
I can hear that too.
I've always been,
I can hear it now.
It was crazy. I met George Clinton last year, and
the funk.
Yeah. So we were rehearsing. I was rehearsing with Scarface. And he walked in, and he was, because they invited him to come out. So we do the thing, the whole rehearsal, and he's like, man, I was jamming, and he's like shaking everybody's hand, and he looked at me, he said, D'Angelo. And I said, damn. And D'Angelo to me is like so much better than me, because he's a all around musician. He's just amazing. And he's a guy that I really would like to model certain parts of my R&B game after.
That's the nigga with he had no shirt and shit on.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
How does it feel?
I like this guy. D'Angelo. Always been a Donny Hathaway fan. He's my favorite artist of all time.
Okay.
Stevie. I really like PJ Morton.
Okay, so wait, hold on. But these
one
are
of my wife's favorites.
These are different people, though. Like, you know,
like they're very
none
different
of them
people.
are, like that's, none of them are the same.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I'm a ball player, so if I were to build the perfect receiver,
straight up,
how do you Frankenstein that?
Straight up.
So like, how do you take what, you know? Like, everybody always compared me to like John Legend and Anthony Hamilton and stuff like that, right? A lot of the stuff that I've been doing lately is to make sure that no one compares me to them. Not because I don't like them.
No, I got you.
But so that people can say, okay, yeah,
he can go outside the box,
or that's a different nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't just this. He can do lots of things, which is why I like to do hooks for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I can stretch out and do what I want to do and still be within the realm of what they like as far as the artist himself and making a good song. But, you know, because like even with the Kiki thing, like with Kiki, he was like, yeah, just do what you're going to do, and then I'll rap.
I'll fill in the gap. Yeah, he'll fill in the gap.
And then I said, are you sure? I was like, yeah. Well, he didn't know I was going to write a verse. So I wrote a verse.
Yeah.
And when I came out, everybody was looking at me like,
That's different. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I like doing stuff before. I don't really like having input on it before I do it.
Straight up.
For
You like
anything I
backdoor.
do. I like for anything I'm doing. Hey, if I tell you, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, I've already decided I'm doing it.
Gotcha.
So
that makes
like,
sense.
so that's just kind of how I run.
That goes to your original statement, and here in a moment, you're gonna tell the people where they can find you and what you got coming down the pipe. But you goes to your original point where you said, I can do anything I say I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So if you've said it, you already got it in the works.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's the epitome of what you've already said in this interview. That if I say it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I got one last question for him. Anybody that you work with where you've been, wow, I'm in the studio with this guy.
Jermaine Dupri. And we did,
That's a big deal.
so I'm in the studio with Brian Michael Cox, who is,
I mean, you.
so like I'm in there. So that was the first one, really. Like it was one of those. Well, Brad was really the first one. Scarface was really the first one. But then I got in the studio with B Cox, and then I go to Atlanta, and I'm in the studio with him, and then Jermaine is in there.
That's what's
and
up.
I'm like, oh shit, like because I'm thinking like, this money ain't a thing. This jump, this
That's everybody.
escape, all of this. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and so like now. For the record, it wasn't my session, so I wasn't there to work with JD, but I'm in the room watching him do what he does, and I'm understanding how JD becomes who he is. Like, because, this is how you get there. Like, this is what you do to get there, right? This is your process. This is how you, and so like you realize when you're around people like that, they're like, you know, a person like that can have hits in 3 different decades at this point, because 4 different decades now, because he got a #1 with Ari.
Straight up.
The 2010s era, he had something that was killing.
Plenty.
And then 2000 era was his, basically. You know what I'm saying? Usher, Mariah, Mary J, like that was his era, you know what I'm saying? And in the 90s, he was just like, you know, being, you know what I'm saying?
And in the 80s, he was pop locking with Houdini.
Right. So like, you don't get to that level of making a hit, at least a hit or 2 every decade.
That's 40 years.
Without living in that motherfucker.
That's 40 years.
Like this is what I do. You know, JD can do other things. You know, he's a smart guy. But when Dr. Dre is the same way. Like, no, this is the thing that got me here, and this is what I do. That's how LeBron can average 30 a game
At 35.
at 37.
Yeah, 30,
and
whatever it
he,
is.
like, no, I've been doing this since I was a baby.
I'm
You know what I'm
trying to
saying?
see how he reeled in Janet Jackson. That's what I want to be around for.
Let me ask this though. Okay, so with you saying that you got some new stuff that you bringing out. My question, as a huge R&B fan, can we bring back talking on tracks?
In the interludes.
Yeah,
I want the
you
interludes,
remember
too.
when, like,
I know,
especially
yeah.
the deep voice dude from Boys
Boys
to Men.
yeah, he used to have it a lot.
Baby,
Well,
I'm
he had the
sorry.
simplest verse
Please
ever.
forgive me for all the wrong
He
I've
had the
done.
simplest
Didn't
verse.
even sing.
I
Didn't
knew
even
you.
sing.
I knew you was cheating on me, but like
He didn't even sing. He
Like,
didn't even
why?
sing. Yeah.
But that's what I feel like. That's what's
That's what we
needed
missing.
in
Yeah.
R&B.
You know-
I don't have that no more. I need that.
But you know, what you call him did it, and y'all kind of clowned her for it. LMA.
Nah, but it wasn't the same.
No,
though.
it wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same.
I didn't
Okay,
clown
okay.
it, though.
It's not the
I didn't clown it,
same,
but it wasn't
see.
the same. It's different when it's men.
To me, like
Yeah, it's
I don't want to
We
hear
can
that.
bring
What's
it-
they call it? Cockney? Is that
Oh
what it's
my
called?
God.
Ain't that the term of it?
Hello, mate.
That, like they
yeah.
call it the.
I've never heard that term before in my
Look,
life.
it sounds like that.
Excuse
You
me.
said cockney.
I'm all for.
Cockney.
I am all for talking on the
I heard that
record.
term
Okay.
before.
I'm just probably not gonna do it.
No, you need to get someone to come in and voice
look,
over.
if you need somebody, like you be singing or something, and then I just pop in.
No, you're not
"Hey,
doing it. No.
Hello, ladies. We got Casey.
Look at his outfit.
You gonna talk like that?
Yeah.
You gonna talk like that?
You know what I'm saying?
Look
Hold
at
on,
his
open up
outfit.
my
He
chest.
already
Look
got
at his fit.
R&B fit on
Look at his
today.
fit. With
Look
the-
at that
with the
R&B
taco
fit with
meat
the
out.
taco meat out and everything.
That boy got the taco meat out. He got the
ladies.
ground beef
You know
on
that
you
Val
hoes.
Venus shit. Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Yeah.
Yo, Val Venus was wild.
Yeah.
Val Venus was
When you think about the Attitude Era of wrestling,
WWE.
they
No,
got away with
WCW.
It was
WWF.
F.
Throw this
Federation.
cup at you.
The Federation.
They got away with so many things that
His
could never
promo
happen.
before he became a wrestler, he was like, "Hey, hello, ladies. This is Big Val Boski. You heard of Saving Private Ryan? Well, my new video.
Saving
coming out.
Ryan's Privates. I remember that. Yo, he used to get out there and strip before. Yo, Val Venus was
Take off the towel.
unsung
All
hero.
right, so let's let our brother out. Let's put the camera on our brother. All right. Tell the people what to expect from you next and where they can find you. And then before we leave, we want to know why you're off Twitter. So go.
Because they can't find him on
I
Twitter.
know. So tell the people where they can find you, what you got next, and then why you're off Twitter.
Instagram, I am Jack Freeman. Facebook, I hardly ever use Facebook, but Jack Freeman Music. I'm on TikTok. I think it's I am Jack Freeman. I am. What other social media am I on? Oh, you know what I need to start utilizing more?
TikTok.
No. There's another app that
Reddit,
no, Reddit's terrible. I don't know why people use Reddit.
YouTube.
Facebook Messenger.
No, I'm on YouTube though. Jay Freeman. No,
Watch out.
I forget the name of it, but I'll come back to that.
Okay.
But I'm on YouTube. Jay Freeman TV is the channel. Actually, if you go to my Instagram and you hit the link in my bio, you can find me everywhere.
Okay. And then what's next for you? And then closing out, why you off Twitter?
New song coming soon. Hopefully some shows coming soon. Hopefully in a city near you if you're not in Houston. I'm not on Twitter because in 2020 I called Jason Wood like a coon and he reported me. I got suspended. I had another page because I was promoting my EP at the time and I was doing that. And then the day after the Super Bowl in 2021, I tried to tweet and everything was shut down. And they said it's because I created another page to avoid permanent suspension, which I never knew that I was under permanent suspension. But this is around that time, that wave when like they got Donald Trump the fuck out of there.
Yeah, they was
and
on
then
the
they
hate
was
speech.
like getting everybody out of there. Yeah,
Elon Musk
so,
got- he on 9%.
if Elon decides to change some things, then maybe I'll come back. I actually feel better without Twitter because I don't really get to see none of that. None of these terrible arguments that people be having every 2 months.
I never got into all that.
Yeah,
I just stay in my shit.
You know, maybe y'all can start a free Jack Freeman.
We will. We'll start it.
Definitely got to.
Yeah. So
let's
thank you for everybody
irony-
that put some money on my books while I was on
Irony
Twitter.
of saying free Jack Freeman. Remember all the Boondocks when he was like, he all that white
a
dude
Freeman.
Once he'd be like, hey, free man. Like he always emphasized that free man.
I like this shit though. I gotta come back, man.
Nah, man, we appreciate brother.
What y'all
Jack.
doing next Sunday? I'll come next Sunday.
Man, you more than welcome anytime.
Sunday.
Y'all tap in with our brother. I am Jack
real.
Freeman. Make sure that y'all go follow him. People gonna tap into your music and they gonna comment under our YouTube on
with
what they think. So let's
with it.
make
Say on
sure.
Cold Blooded.
I think I've been drinking way
I've been
too
drinking
much,
way
baby.
too much.
Look,
Let me put my chest out.
let me tell y'all
I've
something
been
about
drinking
you.
way too much.
For too long.
no.
All right. Look, let me tell y'all something. All you YouTube commenters, first of all, I think y'all are menaces anyway.
They are. They
Y'all
really
are menace. Like I don't understand commenting on their YouTube page, but any nigga that think my music is trash is probably still a virgin.
Man, that's what episode 1.
Well, you heard it first.
You heard it here. We out, man.
Shit.